Welcome to Ridge Life. I'm Tim, and today on Ramblings, we have special guests on the Ridge. We've got Chris and Tara. Oh, I'm sorry, Jason and Tara. Inside joke,
Who am I
everybody.
married to?
I didn't put my name tape on. I didn't have my crayons. I'm a mess.
They are from Whiterock Homestead. What are y'all doing on the Ridge?
Well, see, we've been visiting family. Anybody that follows our channel already, Pops has not been well. He's doing better now, so we're headed home. And it's been so long since we've been to our ridge, the little ridge, guys, little letters, little ridge, right? And I grabbed my phone and said, "Take me to the ridge."
That's not really what happened.
And they took him to the real ridge.
We showed up here.
They thought they were going home, but
yeah. Well, as it would turn out, we've been wanting to come here, and every time we were coming back from Tennessee, we just wanted to get home. Well, we had a little bit of extra time in our schedule, and we're actually spilling beans because none of our people know that we're all on our way home. So we're spilling the beans here on.
I'm pretty sure your people are my people, so you're going to find out right now.
Yeah.
You guys get to see it here. We were going to sneak peek you, and we said, you know what better way than, we haven't been to the ridge yet.
And what was really funny is I text them the same day saying, "Hey, what's your address? I've got to send you something," because they won on my Tuesday night live work-life coffee. Night shift work-life coffee, because we know Jason works all day. Tara actually works all day, all night, and all day. They work together 100%. I've seen her sling a hammer and nail. Woo!
Well,
But this is work-life coffee, and this is, you wanted the bean instead of the K-cup,
yes,
right?
Yes, definitely wanted the beans.
So this is whole bean Honduran. It is roasted in Texas. This is by a veteran-owned company, owns this, and so proudly give you your night shift coffee by Work Life.
And that's how we ended up here.
Oh, yeah.
He messaged and he's like, "Hey, what address do you want me to send it to?" And I'm like, "Well, we could just pick it up on our way home." And he's like, "What?"
And we're trying to get him. He's got a lot going on, guys, and every little penny counts. So we're like, you know what? We're gonna save you on some postage. Let's come pick it up. That work life, you got to save where you can. So
I had a couple other things to send off, and my mom took it to the post office. $38 in postage.
Yeah.
$38. It's like if I send one of these, by the way, giving you all a bottle. This is a collector's item. This is Dungonginit Timmy for honey. This is just a little bit left, and if I send one of these bottles, it's $8 shipping for an $8 bottle of honey. So
wow,
crazy. Anyway, there's you some.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
That's fall honey. You can tell how it's a little bit darker.
The secret is he already gave me one, but I didn't tell him because I want another one, and it's in my hands now.
Absolutely. No,
well, it's gonna go great with this coffee.
Yeah, I drink my. You can have more than one. David's got like 9.
Yeah.
He don't even need it.
I covet it. I use my other honey that I get from other sources for like baking and things like that, and I covet this right here, the RidgeLife honey.
So y'all traveled in What's the name of the camper you brought this time?
Our members named it the Squatch.
Okay, and it is it's much bigger than the Ridge Crib or the
Nugget.
Oh, the Nugget, right?
Yeah.
So how big is the camper you brought up to this weekend?
It's a 30-foot fifth wheel.
Smaller than our Cougar, but still,
Holiday Rambler. So this thing is loaded, and we've been able to test it out. The weather's a little brisk. And we stayed wonderfully warm in shorts and a t-shirt on the inside.
Okay, not me. I got my thermal leggings on. I've got 3 layers up here,
It was 27 degrees last night. I didn't have water in the Ridge Crib, but they had water in theirs. You just slept okay?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, amazing. The Squatch is much bigger, like you said. It's we had upgraded from our Nugget that was just a little 18-footer that it worked wonderfully, and we enjoyed having it, but the longevity of it was not there, and we knew, well, we're going to need to do an upgrade, and so we got the Squatch to be able to haul around, and but it gives us so much more room, and
so comfortable.
We're very keen. Right, and of course now we're well known of when we go to meetups or events or come to hang out, like we love to entertain and to have people, and in this time of year it's more important, even though we had an amazing fire last night and stayed warm out by it, but when the weather doesn't
rolled like rotisseries.
When the weather doesn't permit, you need to hang out inside, and when you've got a tiny camper, even like the Ridge Crib, it's like, hey, One person is perfect. Two people, you're like, you better like each other. Three people, nobody gets to move.
I mean, you were in there today because you came over and had coffee. Were you comfortable?
Oh, absolutely.
Plenty
now,
of
it would have been a little harder yesterday because what happened when you arrived? What'd you find there?
Oh my God.
Oh, guys, we
had a catastrophe on the ridge.
Yeah, this is what our third venture with the Squatch so far since we've bought it.
To do this.
And coming here, obviously, we had to take a few different sets of roads that we typically wouldn't travel. And a tornado went off and exploded inside, like everything was
He tells
moved.
me it's just sauerkraut. The two of them said, hey, we had a little sauerkraut thing, got it kind of picked up a little bit. It's on you, right? And these two exited. I go to dig
We had a fire to make.
There was a fire to maintain.
There was a fire to make. And there was
Cold
a couple
snacks had to get in.
couple adult beverages that had to be, kept, warm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I get in there and I start looking at the damage in this cabinet, right? It's where I had like jarred goods and my big bag of flour for baking, spaghetti sauce, sauerkraut, all of those had like exploded inside of there. Drenched the bottom of the flour, which then just disintegrated the bottom, spread flour everywhere inside. So all the cabinet and everything in it was covered in a sauerkraut tomato flour paste.
Well, we opened the door up when we got everything leveled and set up. We opened the door up and the couch was in the doorway.
Yeah.
And then so Jason gets in there and he kind of jumps over trying to move the couch. I'm like, this thing is wet. He's like, what? And he's like, well, there's canned goods up there. And he says, I said, you smell that? What's it smell like? It smells kind of spicy. Right? So we got the couch out of the way, and he goes like, well, there's just liquid everywhere. I tasted it.
You didn't? Did you really?
I don't know what. But he opens up that cabinet door and went, oh, there was sauerkraut and everything. And he went, click. We're not even going to worry about that.
Yep.
Left it for me.
I did the typical husbandly duty, and I went, I'm going to pretend I didn't see that. Shut the cabinet and started to move the heavy furniture.
Got the heat going, got the water going. Of course, we kind of forgot the water running. We were filling this water tank up, and we were tending that fire. We had to.
Right.
Yeah.
So
when I said they disappeared, I meant it.
Yeah.
And then I did have to go out at one point because I'm not tall enough, and I needed his help because I couldn't see where I was getting into, and I asked him for the step stool, which he then, was so focused on getting back out to the bonfire that he forgot to get me that. So I ended up getting myself that, but I didn't want to cut my hand because there was a lot of glass in there. So I had to wash all our canned goods. We lost quite a bit of stuff, but it was all just this awful. If you've ever paper mache'd anything, imagine it with sauerkraut and spaghetti sauce.
Yeah.
And then there was random turkeys rolling around everywhere. There was this big giant turkey on the ground. Where does turkey go? The freezer, I guess the bungee came off the freezer, or was it?
Yeah, because we don't have, the Squatch has an apartment fridge, just a regular kind of residential 110. And so there's no latch. And what I had done was I put eye hooks on either side so that we could run a bungee cord on it. But evidently this section of trip was so bouncy back there that it popped the bungee off. And so everything that was in the freezer, to include a whole frozen turkey.
One of the 6.
Yeah.
The bathroom was also full of turkeys. But if you know me, you know I look out for a good deal. And dang it, those after Thanksgiving, 50 cents a pound. And so I had to come back with 6 turkeys.
So we got a fire going. Even though it had been raining, we found some dry sticks and some wood. Wind was brisk, wasn't it? The wind, it never died down last night either.
No, and normally, I mean, our temperature and climate is fairly the same even in north central Arkansas, but when the sun really goes down and it starts settling, like typically the wind will die down with it. And last night it was like, no, we're gonna make you guys work for that fire. You're gonna go ahead and try to climb inside it.
Man, we had some good jams going on.
Had music, and then we went and ate dinner at my little street tacos place. What do y'all think about the street
that
tacos?
was amazing.
Oh yeah,
I'm in love with those chips. I will
flour
create
tortilla
them.
chips.
I'm gonna try to.
It's a good thing we don't live close to it because you could be a regular there very easily.
Very, very, yeah. So
I got tons of leftovers.
Good deal.
Oh yeah, yummy.
And then you got to meet Grandma Carol.
I love her.
Aww. Yeah,
and we have so much in common, and we just we're like
Yeah, because when we got there, me and Jason were setting up the Squatch, right?
Yep.
And she disappeared. I guess you went in and hang with Grandma Carol.
I did.
And,
We had a blast. We had a blast.
Saw her log home and did all that, you know. And so we ate, and then we came back and we sat around the campfire and just chit-chatted and had a couple adult beverages. And
I couldn't keep up. I went to bed. These two, I don't even know.
it wasn't late. It was 11 something.
Yeah,
It felt like 2 in the morning because it gets dark.
Yeah, this time of year when it's dark by 5 o'clock, it just.
We kept thinking, oh man, it's got to be at least 9. It's got to be at least 11.
Yeah.
She thought 2 o'clock. We came in at 2 o'clock. No,
I wouldn't have known. I was out. It was peace out homie for me. I was exhausted and done, and the whole explosion of the tomato.
got up this morning, had coffee. I came over, we had coffee, and Grandma Carol made some breakfast for us.
Oh, it was amazing.
Amazing.
Had a little spring Timber honey on our biscuits and everything. Could you? Well, you haven't tasted the fall honey. Did I give you fall honey before? I don't remember which one I gave you. Was it darker or lighter?
We were in Mississippi when you gave me my last one.
Yes, I think that was the spring.
Spring.
Yeah. So this one's a little more rich. I prefer the spring. The spring is more light and floral, and that's more. Molasses has a darker taste.
Yep.
So it's not like molasses, but it's. I don't know. To each their own. Some people just, the fall honey is the best. It has goldenrod in it, but goldenrod is what most of the fall honey is here. And goldenrods, when the bees bring the goldenrod into the colony, it smells like dirty feet, wet, dirty socks.
Interesting.
Yeah, but the honey don't taste like that, but the smell.
Right.
And so a lot of people don't even like, because the smell of it, you can smell a little bit of it in the honey, but you don't taste it. It tastes wonderful.
No, I took the honey this morning and put it over my sausage link.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
So did a little tour this morning.
Beautiful.
When you drove up, you're like, this is flat. There ain't no ridge here, right?
Yeah, and obviously, guys, we've got the whole, unbeknownst to us, right? We hadn't met Tim when we started our channel. We knew nothing of RidgeLife.
No.
And when you start comparing the things that the three of us have done without knowing, it's almost, if somebody coming from outside had never seen it, they're like, you guys are just copying Tim, and it was purely on accident.
Idea.
Surely, no.
So now we have the big ridge, the little ridge, right? We know where to pay our respects. Obviously, he was here first, and he's got the ridge.
Yeah.
But I definitely was kind of like, all right, this guy's fibbing, y'all. He's got you sold on, I do this RidgeLife, I do this, and I'm like, no, he's flat as Kansas. There's no way. But we did a little drive around, and
it was awesome.
Got in the Kubota and showed how there's about an 80-foot drop off from Grandma Carol's to this big ravine, and on either side of this ridge property are these big 80-foot drop ravines. You would not know they're there unless you actually went out to them, because the driveway kind of skirts them.
Yeah.
And so. It is definitely on a ridge. It's about an 80-foot elevation change. We're gonna go up to the top of it here in just a little bit. I know you guys live in the mountains, and you've got 100 plus. So technically, I know theirs is the bigger ridge.
Oh gosh, did you hear that?
Oh, it's true. No, it's true. I truly live on a ridge. It is. For our area, it's kind of dramatic, but for your area,
yeah,
normal.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, and we've talked about it. Even going up to David's up in the mountain, right? And he's got this oddly unheard of flat area that's huge. Yep. And we talk, every time we comment to him, because there's that jealousy factor of
having something
flat ground. Because ours, the only way you get flat ground on our property is what we've made flat. So you've got to build up one side or dig out the other, or a combination of both. Everything is on a slope. Everything you do. But
it's traversable, and I think that
it is, and it adds a challenge, and I think that's where the hand up on your part of this property is. There are some big ravines, but it also offers a lot of land. Even here at the home site it took some work of a little bit of leveling and moving some dirt around and that kind of stuff. I would have to bring in more dirt than the brush mountain over here to get that kind of a flat spot, even big enough for a slab like that. So,
but one thing we don't have is rock. Right?
Yeah, it's all over in north central Arkansas. Every bit of it.
There's
no
rock.
It's all on our ridge.
Yeah.
Except for Meteor Valley. I took you down to Meteor Valley. Was that odd? Was that unique?
I have a theory. Because clearly they're not meteors, right?
Right. I've had, yeah.
I think it's dinosaur dung.
Dinosaur dung. That is the most unique,
Petrified
because they
dinosaur
are
dung.
piles
Yeah.
like stalagmites.
Yeah.
Stalactites from the top. They're like piles of like a dinosaur went over there and went.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I might be onto
I
something.
think you might have it because you could tell it was liquid at some point. I was going more for volcanic or something like that. I did not go the dinosaur dung route. So maybe you got it. You got the.
Well, see, what I didn't share with you is like as you're taking us around the ravines and stuff, in my mind, I'm like, this is the perfect little place for like fairies to play and grottos and so I totally went to that outside the box. I think men tend to think linear and I like to think outside of the box, but all these different things were going through my brain. Like this would have been a cool place for a dinosaur to bed down in. It keeps them from the wind. So clearly dinosaur dung, petrified dinosaur.
I can't, because like there's a couple places where it's washed out and created like a little cave, and I call that the Death Hollow. So when I trap coyote, bobcat, raccoon, all that stuff, the bones and stuff, they go in Death Hollow. So if you go into the Death Hollow, they're just skulls and ribs and hips.
So 200 years from now, when archaeologists
people are
come
gonna
down,
think, oh my, they did sacrifices,
Right. What kind of witchcraft is going on up here? Yeah.
So, excuse me. You've seen the build side area. Can you have a vision now for what we got going on here?
Yeah, and I think as you come out and you're visiting other channels and the camera just does not ever do it justice. For spatial recognition of where things are placed, and we could show it a million times on camera, but seeing it in person is just phenomenal.
Well, and that's always the consistent, because even when we've had people come to our place, it's you watch somebody, and of course us as creators, right? We do try to pay a little bit of attention to how we're filming, where we're at. We're not. If we were to set the cameras up on tripods, they would all be at an angle, and you'd be staring at your TV and be like, "I can't watch your show. You kinked my neck." And so it does. But then you watch intently. You're like, all right. So when you show up, you're like, I know where everything is. I know exactly. And then you pull in and you're like, wait a minute. What?
Right.
That it doesn't
Right.
like it.
How? Okay, this is not. Which is fun. It makes it exciting. And all of us being friends, we get to go to each other's homesteads and check out the places and stay up to date on it. So
and I see your vision. As you're talking about the future. I have that creative brain where I can actually I place it there, and I can see that barn, and I'm so in line with everything that you've said. I'm like, that's exactly that's perfect. Well, that's perfect.
Well, and it fits that bill that we are trying to strive as we build things on ours. Is it falls in that model and follows the concept of the age in place. With your layout and what we want to do with ours as time goes on is the idea is when we're 90, we can still live on our own property. We haven't built ourselves, aged out of being able to maintain our property, and that's something we've talked about recently with spending so much time in Tennessee at her dad's house. He's
got kind of the same terrain.
He's got a very steep terrain that, as even though they're only in their 70s right now, it's almost unmanageable for them. He's got 5 acres, and he's like, I'm all about mowing and maintaining about 2 of it. And he's like, that's it. That's all he can physically manage. And it really makes you think, like, when you're doing it and you're, as we are now, where we're still young enough and have the energy and the ambition, and the ability to go ahead and, I want to throw up this house. Cool. Give me a week. We're going to do it. Hey, I want to throw up some solar panels and you do it. But what is that going to be like, maintenance wise? And what is it going to be like, can you get into your house?
Right.
Hey, I've got steps now, but am I going to have enough room in the future to know that, hey, them steps are going to have to be a ramp at some point?
Yep.
We're not getting any younger, but it is beautiful, Tim.
Oh, thank you.
I love it.
Yeah,
And
really good work. And
I love your vision for it. I can't wait to come back and see all the different
Absolutely.
stages.
Yeah, and hopefully be a part of it too.
Absolutely.
I'll have phases where I'll need some help, and you guys definitely have the expertise. I am not a builder. I do electrical, so that's my thing. As far as building mechanics and I have no idea.
We know enough to be dangerous. Don't count on us to Yeah.
I would never throw the title expert on myself.
No.
But you get it done. You get it
but
done.
I guarantee you when we're done with it, it will not fall down.
Well.
No, it won't.
So right now, you know, we've got Grandma Carol's log home on that corner.
So
I'll
beautiful.
have the Ridge barn house up here. My plan is to have at least 2 more structures. You know, I've got 3 kids and grandkids and all that. I would love, you know, when I'm 70, to have at least 3 more structures, you know, 2 more, so the grandkids can come out, ride the horses and hunt, and it's just.
I'm giggling because we say we were going to have 7 structures on ours, and I could have, you're verbatim telling me exactly.
It's an American dream. It truly is.
But it's just one of those things that, there again, we have so many similar things.
And just met last year. So.
Yeah. And I see that vision too, because not that, you always have the hope that all the family's going to come at one single time. It may happen, it may not. We may get some of our kids this time, some of our kids that time, but I want them to all have a place. So I totally get what you're saying.
And another thing is, you know, the barn house here is isolated from the rest of them. If in the future I do need that extra income, I can Airbnb them, and they'll have their own driveway. And matter of fact, I'll probably have another gate so that they could get in, and I can still have my area gated off. And still be secluded. Everybody has their own privacy. So that's the long-term plan on the Ridge, and you guys have very similar plans. I have not been to the Ridge in Arkansas. I hope to go soon. You're on this side of Missouri, right? You're real close to Missouri.
Real close to Missouri.
Real. I was born and raised in Missouri. It's a beautiful area. You're technically in the Ozarks, aren't you?
We are.
Yeah. Yeah, I grew up in the Mark Twain National Forest area of the Ozarks.
So beautiful. Yeah.
Well, guys, I appreciate you stopping by.
Well, thanks for having us.
And you're always welcome here. Enjoy the Work Life coffee. Go Work Life.
Yay! Thank you so much.
Get you some now. Let me see if I can turn this around. And there's a QR code right there. Get you some.
I'm excited to try it. I am coffee aficionado.
You know, we are starting to be more Texas-related coffee somehow.
I know.
Oh, really?
Patrick just, Cuddly Texan just sent me the Texas pecan that he brought to one of the meetups last year, and I fell in love with it. And so he's been my hookup.
Yeah, that's our coffee dealer.
So thank you, Nice Shift.
Well, we're excited to try this out. It's funny, I've spent a lot of life where I was like, hey, coffee, just regular coffee. You don't need all this fancy, nothing in it, just straight coffee. And she's been more the, well, you know, let me add a little flavor here. And I'm like, stop messing with it. But I'm starting to grow into some of these better, different. I don't want to get too bougie, though. People will get expectations.
Well, you can come anytime, Tim.
I appreciate it. Well, guys, I love every single one of you. Thanks for joining us today on RidgeLife Ramblings with Whiterock Homestead.
Yeah.
Where can they reach you? How many channels you got? What's the names of the stuff?
Coffee Chat with the Chickens, which has kind of been a little slow.
Well, kind of like my ramblings here. It's a talk. So if you liked hearing them talk today, they've got a Coffee Chat with the Chickens.
And we're getting ready, now that we're getting ready to be home, we'll pick that back up. We've spent so much time in Tennessee, y'all don't want to keep hearing us when we're not doing anything yet.
But then our main Homestead channel where we do the building, we're building the homestead, you know, all of our animals, the crops, that kind of stuff, that's all on our main Whiterock Homestead. And then Big Mike and I from MT Homestead.
Oh yeah.
Also, we're running the Sergeant's Talk TV, all about veteran information. Just trying to get the word out to everybody, all the vets out there, especially the ones that are not utilizing the VA system. Because if you're not using it and you're a veteran, no matter how long you were in and served, and no matter the time, you're a veteran. Get to the VA. Quit waiting. Get there and do it.
Well, appreciate all y'all for joining us. Again, it's Whiterock Homestead. Go check them out. And until next time, hope everyone has a blessed day. Keep rambling and go RidgeLife. Woo!